All right, hi guys. So weird that you're listening to me and I'm sitting right across the room from you. Okay, so we're going to talk about transformations. We've actually already talked about them, but now we're going to look at them in depth and we're going to do it with the greatest integer function. So notice at the top of your Cartesian catalog, it gives you the general form A, B, H, and K. Those are the four transformations that you're going to have to identify. So we're going to write them down at the top. You do already have them in your notes, or at least you should. But here we'll have them in a central place with some examples. All right, write them down with me. So remember, when A was greater than 1, that was a vertical stretch. Okay, again, this is review, which is nice. Hopefully. When A was between 1 and 0, okay, so not negative, just between 1 and 0, so that's our fractions that are not improper. That was our vertical compression. Now, if there's a -1 being multiplied to A, that was our vertical reflection. Okay, hopefully you guys have this written down somewhere else, but we're going to write it down again so we can refer back to it. Okay, the next value is B. B only worked when we took the reciprocal of it, so that's how we knew what factor to compress or stretch by. But if B was greater than 1, that was our horizontal compression. Remember, it was the opposite of the vertical, and that's because we had to take the reciprocal. So our horizontal compression. And then if B was between 1 and 0, that was our horizontal stretch. Sorry, my writing's a little bit bad. I'm trying to smush it into one spot. And then if we had a -1 being multiplied to B, this was our horizontal reflection. So if I'm horizontally reflecting, think to yourself, what axis am I reflecting over? Horizontally reflecting. That would be our y-axis. So that means if we're vertically reflecting, that's going to be our x-axis. We don't want to say it as in I'm flipping over this axis. It's just a point of reference, okay, to help you remember what we're looking for. And then our h and our k values. H is that horizontal translation. Was it the same sign or the opposite sign? Hopefully you said opposite. Okay, so we're going to put down opposite sign. And why was that? Hopefully you said it's because x minus h, so we have to have that opposite sign. And then that means that k was our vertical translation, and that would be the same sign. I'm not going to write that down here, but if you want to write it down, that's probably not a bad idea. It is our vertical translation with the same sign. Yes, that's my husband holding the phone again, so tell him, thanks, Mr. Patterson. You should see the look he's giving me. Okay, so we're going to use the greatest integer function. It says g of x is equal to f of. Now, previously it states in the directions, f of x is equal to the greatest integer. These are interchangeable. One equals the other. So if it says f of that, that means that it's f of x minus h. So we're going to do the greatest integer of x minus 5. We're substituting it in. Okay, so for this one, if it's f of x plus 7, that means it's going to be the greatest integer of x plus 7. Okay, so what type of, I'm going to kill my cat, sorry. What type of transformations, she's drinking out of my water glass, is this first one? If it's x minus 5, opposite sign, that means that we are going to have a horizontal translation 5 units right, because it has to be the opposite sign, which means that this one is going to be the horizontal translation 7 units left. Again, it's that opposite sign. So I'm going to use different colors like I've done before in hopes that it helps distinguish for you guys between one graph and the other. First graph, 5 units right. Remember, we always talked about for the greatest integer function, we've got that central point at the origin, where in this case, it's not going to be 0, 0. We have to go 5 units to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right and have a closed circle. There wasn't an A value, there wasn't a B value, and I didn't go up or down. So I'm going to extend 1 unit to the right, open circle. That is an open circle, I promise. We're going to go up 1 unit, close circle, extend out, open circle. Okay, and we're going to continue this. Please note that I do have open circles, but because of this fat tipped pen, it is not showing the way that I would like. I'll do my circles a little bit bigger. Okay, general rule of thumb, I'm not going to force you to go the entire graph. You want to go at least half to let me see that you know what the heck you're supposed to be doing. All right, so then we moved 5 to the right. We didn't switch direction. We didn't switch the direction of our open and closed circles. For the second one, x plus 7, we're going to go 7 units left. So from the origin, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units left, closed circle. I don't switch direction because there isn't a reflection, and I'm not going to switch my circles nor the step length. I'm still going to go up 1 unit, extend out, and open circle. Okay, again, I don't want to torture you too much. So at least extend half of your graph so I can see you know what is happening. All right, for this next one, f of x plus 2, that means I'm going to take the greatest integer function and add 2 to the outside. That's going to be our vertical. Okay, so vertical translation, really get comfortable with the terminology. It's very important. Vertical translation, 2 units up. And for this one, it's f of x minus 4. So I'm going to take the stated function, which again is the greatest integer function, and I'm going to subtract 4. So the transformation from the parent function is a vertical translation because we have that k value, 4 units up. All right, here we go. Go back to the origin. We're only going 2 units up. That's the only thing that's happening. So I'm going to go up 2. I'm going to make a closed circle, extend out 1 unit, and then open. I'm going to go up 1 unit because, again, there isn't an A value, there isn't a B value, and there's not a reflection. So the only thing that's happening is that vertical translation. Okay, again, go at least half the graph so I can see what's going on. And then last but not least for this section, the down 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're still extending out 1 unit and jumping up 1 unit. Okay, there isn't a reflection. All we did was go down 4 units. Okay, for the sake of the YouTube uploading and the fact that my cat has drank half of my water glass, I'm going to pause here and re-record in just a second.